So students, let us continue with some more examples and some more applications of total internal reflection. We will explain you two applications now and we will solve some examples based on the same. Okay. One example, another application is optical illusion of a fish or a light source placed in denser medium. The light source that we are considering it as a point source. Okay. Then suppose say that this is a denser medium. This is a denser medium, maybe any medium. Let us consider a point source which is placed at the bottom of this medium. Okay. Maybe light source, or in the problems it may be mentioned as a fish or a point light source. Point light source. Or it may be mentioned as a small bulb, like that. Suppose if rays of light goes from here to here, like this, these rays of light, when they enter the surface interface, this is rarer medium. If I suppose that this is air whose refractive index is 1, and let us study this refractive index of this medium is n. n1 is 1, n2 is n. Maximum this light source is covering this much area, or if it is fish, then the maximum divergent rays are traveling like this, and the fish can see the outside world in a particular circle like this. This light, I am after going to the surface, this grazing like this along the surface. If it is grazing along the surface, then let us say this is the depth of this medium, which is taken as h. This is depth. If it is grazing the surface here, then this angle will be 90, which is nothing but angle of refraction. If this angle of refraction is 90, then this must be critical angle. If this is critical, this must be critical. Okay. If this is critical angle, now what are the possible questions they will ask is, if this fish is able to see the outside world in a circle, in a circular area, they will ask you what is the refractive index, or what is the radius of this circle, what is the diameter maximum it can cover, or sometimes area of this circle. If the light enters from this, what is the maximum area covered by this? Okay. Then what are the mathematical equations, possible equations that we'll write here is, see, this is denser medium and this is rarer medium. Now suppose if I take r as the radius of this circle, then easily I can write here by using trigonometry, tan IC, this is critical angle, is equal to opposite by adjacent. Opposite is radius, adjacent is depth of this medium h. Then I can write r is equal to tan IC into h. Understood this step? Okay. Tan IC I can write it as sin IC. R is equal to, can write tan IC, I can write it as sin IC divided by cos IC into h. This can be written as h into this sin IC, I will write as it is, divided by, in place of cos IC, I will write root of 1 minus sine square IC by using the formula sine square IC plus cos square IC is equal to 1. Okay, I written this. Then what I will write? I will apply Snell's law here. If I apply Snell's law, see, n into sine IC, n into sine theta I told, theta is IC here, n into sine IC is equal to 1 into sine 90. n into sine IC is equal to 1 into sine 90. This n into sine IC will be equal to 1 into sine 90 is 1, this is 1, which implies sine IC is equal to 1 by n. Then if you substitute this here, this r will be equal to h into sine IC is nothing but 1 by n divided by root of 1 minus sine IC square. That means 1 by n whole square. 1 by n square. This will be h into 1 by n divided by, inside this root what I will get, n square minus 1 divided by n square. 1 by n square, if you take it out, this will be 1 by n. This is root of n square minus 1. This 1 by n get cancelled. This implies that the radius of this circle, maximum circle covered by the source of light or the vision of the fish, that is equal to h divided by root of n square minus 1. This is radius. If you are able to find the radius, then we will be able to find the diameter of this circle also, and we will be able to find the area of this circle also. Okay, this is optical illusion of a fish. Then let's study one more concept related to this. Is one application of simple total internal reflection is, we'll study prisms, special types of prisms which are called as total reflecting prisms. Total reflecting prism means, you remember it, these are nothing but right angled isosceles prisms. These are right angled isosceles prisms which can rotate the light either by 90 degree or 180 degree. This total reflecting prisms are the right angled isosceles prism. Suppose for example, if I take this as a prism, see, this is the prism. These two sides will be equal. Let us say this is A, B, C. This angle is 90 and it is isosceles right angled. If light enters like this through this prism, suppose if I place an object here, the name of the object I will write it as PQ. This is the object. If light enters prism perpendicular to the surface AB, then if I draw normals here at these 2 points, usually glass refractive index will be around 1.5 for glass and air pairs. Glass air pair, it is a pair of glass and air, critical angle will be around 42 to 43 degree it will be. You can calculate it also by using the formula. See, sine IC is equal to 1 by n. If you put the substitute the refractive index of glass here, refractive index of air being 1, then this value you can calculate for glass to air pair. For glass air interface, refractive index will be generally from 42 to 43 degree around it will be there. Okay, None. Suppose if I have here, this angle will be, see, this angle is 45, this angle is 45. If this is 45, then this angle will be also 45, because this is 90, this is 90, this is 45, this is 45, and this angle is 90. That means this is 45, means it should be 45. If this angle is 45, generally this 45 degree will be more than critical angle. See, this 45 degree angle is more than critical. That means, see, the ray of light is going from glass to air. Glass to air means denser to rarer medium. Denser to rarer medium. And the angle of incidence is more than critical here. The angle of incidence is more than critical value. Both my conditions are satisfied, which are essential for the total internal reflection. Therefore, what I will do is the light will undergo total internal reflection here by following the laws of reflection. If this is 45, this is 45, 45, 45. Then this ray is coming from P, it will be P. And this ray is coming from Q, this will be Q. Object will become like this. It means you have placed the object like this in the beginning. It has the object turned like this. The image of the object turned like it is placed like this, and it has turned like this. That means light is rotated by 90 degree. Light is rotated by 90 degree. This is the property of total reflecting prism, to rotate the light by either 90 degree or 180 degree. If the prism is placed like this, see, this is rotation by 90 degree. If the prism is placed like this, these are the two right angle isosceles sides. This is hypotenuse, this is 90 degree. If it undergoes incident like this, this will be 45 and this will be 45. This light will reflect like this. At this face, this is 45. At this face, this is 45. And at this face, one more time they undergo reflection like this. Means if it is like this, then this ray will be going like this. Okay, this is AB. If I have, this will be AB. Depending upon the orientation of the prism, if you keep it like this, only total internal reflection is taking place once. If you place the prism like this, total internal reflection is taking place at two surfaces like this. This will be rotation of light by 180 degree. Rotation of light by 180 degree. The image will be rotated by 180 degree. These two important applications you remember, and you know how to apply Snell's law properly. This is one application, optical illusion of a fish, and how to find the radius of this circle formed. Okay, then about these prisms. What are these prisms? These are the right angled isosceles prisms which can rotate the light by 180 degree, and depending on the same total internal reflection. And this will solve some examples here, including some NCERT examples also. Okay, now you see, this is the example I am taking now. You are able to see this example. Okay, what they asked, it is from NCERT text. What they asked is, refractive index of water will be generally 1.333. It can be taken as 4/3. Okay, a small bulb is placed at the bottom of a tank containing water up to depth 80 centimeter. 80 centimeter is the depth. Then what is the area of the surface of water through which light from the bulb can emerge out? See, how much area that light emerging from the bulb is covering here. That is they asked. What is this? This is the denser medium, water it is there. This is the source of light, and they are asking you what is the area of water surface through which light can emerge. This area we want to calculate. This depth is they have given. This depth is 80 centimeter. Okay, you observe the question 1 second clearly. What is asked? They are asking area. We know how to calculate the radius of this circle when depth is given and refractive index is given. What is refractive index? Refractive index is given as 4/3. Then depth is 80 centimeter. Okay, then what is this now? R will be equal to h divided by root of n square minus 1. Then this will be 80 divided by, what is n square? This is root of 4/3 whole square. 4/3 whole square will be 16/9 minus, this is 1. Then this will be R is equal to 80 divided by 16 minus 7. 16 minus 9 will be 7 divided by root 9 is 3. This will be root 7. This is 80 into 3 divided by root 7. This is 240 divided by root 7. Then area of this circle will be pi r square. Then this is pi into r is 240 divided by root 7 whole square. Okay, this will be, if you want to calculate, this is 22/7. This is 240 into 240 divided by root 7 whole square will be 7. You can calculate it. Approximate value of area we get. Okay, this is. There is one more example based on the same. Let's see. You observe this question number 7. What is the question given? A fish looking up through the water sees the outside world contained in a circular horizon. The outside world for this fish, which is in water, this is the position of the fish. The outside world it is observing in a circle. If the refractive index of water is 4/3 and fish is 12 centimeter below the surface, what is the radius of the circle? Directly they are asking radius. We know what is radius. Radius is equal to depth divided by root of n square minus 1. N square minus 1. What is height? 12 divided by n square minus 1. Just now in the previous problem we calculated. This will be 16/9 minus 1. This will be 16/9. 16 minus 9 will be root 7. Denominator will be root 9. Root 9 is 3. Then it will be 12 into 3 divided by root 7. And this will be 36 divided by root 7. This is the radius of that circle. You can calculate area also. This is 36 divided by root 7 is the answer. Okay. They asked just a radius. One more similar problem based on the same. Here was what they asked, you see. This question number 10. A point source of light is placed at a depth h below the water surface. A disc is floating opaque disc is placed on the surface of water. See, okay, like if what they are asking, opaque disc is placed on the surface of water so that the light from the source is not visible from the surface. See, whatever maximum area that light is covering, what we are doing is to we are placing a disc on the surface to cover this area so that the light coming from the surface is not visible. It means if the light coming from the surface is occupying this much area, if we want to place the disc of this much area, the minimum diameter of the disc they are asking. You find the radius. What is the radius? General refractive index is given and depth is h given. What is radius? This is radius. If you multiply this radius by 2, it will give diameter. Thus diameter is equal to 2 times of radius, then 2 times of h divided by root of n square minus 1. N they have given it as mu, so take it as mu, it will be So these are the some examples based on optical illusion of a fish. Then we'll solve some more examples here depending on the total internal reflection. So this will do. NCERT problem is there. This is NCERT question is there. In this question also it is based on, again it is based on same optical illusion of a fish. They are asking you find the minimum diameter of the disc. That it is placed, light does not visible. Diameter they are asking. This question you see, it is slightly different. What is this? Show that for a material with refractive index mu more than root 3, more than root 2, equal to or more than root 2, for a material of refractive index this much, light incident at any angle, guided along the length perpendicular to incident phase. What this means? We have a material here. This material is having a refractive index of more than root 2. This refractive index is more than. What we should say is the light incident at any angle. Suppose this is the incident phase. AB is incident phase. And this is C, this is D. AD is perpendicular to incident phase. AD is perpendicular to incident phase. Then the light which is incident at any angle here, whatever may be this angle, what they are asking you is that light must be guided along the surface. See, at this surface when it comes like this, slightly it will bend. This is angle of refraction. It must be guided along this length perpendicular to incident phase. That means it should not come out through this surface. It should go out through this surface. Light should go out to this surface. Must be guided along the surface. That means it should come here. See, 1 second I will draw. Let us make it clear. This is the material. Light is incident like this, and it is undergoing bending here. This is incident phase. Let us say it is normal. It is theta, angle of incidence. It is angle of refraction. For whatever may be the angle of incidence here, this light must be guided along the surface guided along the length perpendicular to incident phase. This is the length. This is incident phase. This is the length perpendicular to incident phase. The light must go like this. Must be guided along this incidence. It should pass through like this means we'll understand it very easily. If it is guided along the length perpendicular to incident phase like this, that means what must be the angle of refraction outside here? This is 90. If this is 90 means this must be critical. This is critical. Let us take this angle as some angle. Not it must be critical. Okay. This is angle of incidence. Let us take this angle of incidence as I. Let us take this as theta. Don't confuse it. This is angle of, don't get confused. This is angle of incidence I am taking. And what is this? This is theta I am taking. If this light should guide along this surface, if this light should guide along the surface means this angle must be 90. If this angle must be 90 means this angle must be IC. Minimum it should be equal to critical angle. If it is more than critical also, it will guide along this surface. Okay, it will come out like this. Okay, then here it should undergo total internal reflection. Here it should undergo total internal reflection means this theta must be more than or equal to critical angle. Theta must be more than or equal to critical angle. Then I can write sin theta must be more than or equal to sin IC. Let us take it is mu. We should show that mu is greater than or equal to root 2. Then it should guide along this surface. Sin theta must be more than or equal to sin IC. Then you can use AC, Snell's law here. What is Snell's law? Snell's law I can use, or else I can write this sin theta are more than or equal to 1 by mu, because sin IC is 1 by mu. Then this will be 90, this is R. Sin theta, or sin, in place of theta I can write 90 minus R, because theta plus R is equal to 90 is there. Sin 90 minus R is more than or equal to 1 by mu. That means cos R should be more than or equal to 1 by mu, which implies root of 1 minus sin square R is greater than or equal to 1 by mu. Why I am finding R is I want to connect with it I. Then this will be 1 minus sin square R should be greater than or equal to 1 by mu square, squaring on both sides. Okay, you calculated this, you understood this step, squared on both sides. Then this will be like sin square R empty. Then I will take this 1 by mu square this side. 1 minus 1 by mu square must be greater than or equal to sin square R. Or I can say sin square R is less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by mu square. Then what is Snell's law here? This is here 1 into sin I should be equal to mu into sin R. Mu into sin R. Then what is sin R? Sin I by mu. See, 1 into sin I here is equal to mu into sin R. Then sin R is equal to what? Sin R is equal to, I can write sin I by mu. In place of sin R, I will take sin square R, I will write sin square I by mu. Must be less than or equal to 1 minus 1 by mu square. Following this, I applied Snell's law here, and in place of sin square R, I took sin square I by mu. This will be square also. Sine square r, that means sin I by mu whole square, and sin square I divided by mu square. Then if I take this sine, I want to calculate sin square I here. This will be, I will calculate it in the next page. Up to this you followed. This will be sin square I divided by mu square less than or equal to, what I got is 1 minus 1 by mu square. This is the last step. Then this will be sin square I divided by mu square less than or equal to, I can write this as mu square minus 1 by mu square. Mu square get cancelled. Then sin square I must be less than or equal to mu square minus 1. Here if I incident light, you observe this, here if I incident light, this angle may be, what is the maximum value of this angle? Maximum value of this angle will be 90. This angle cannot go beyond 90. So a maximum value of, if this light comes like this angle will be 90. Then maximum value of I is 90. Maximum value of I is 90. If I put I is equal to 90 here, and sin square 90, it will be 1 less than or equal to mu square minus 1. Or I can write this minus 1, if I take this side, mu less than mu square, which implies mu square is more than or equal to 2, or mu is more than or equal to root 2. Okay, one second, you see. First, what is asked in the question? We have to prove that whatever may be this angle of incidence, if this refractive index is more than root 2, more than or equal to root 2, what I assumed as this will guide along this surface. That means this theta must be more than or equal to IC. Then I applied sine on both sides. Sin theta must be greater than or equal to sin IC. What is sin IC value? This is sin IC is equal to 1 by mu. I took here. Then in place of theta, I written 90 minus r, because r plus theta is equal to 90. From here I got cos r. From here I got sin r. See, this is sin square r. Then I got sin square r. And how I replace sin square r? By applying Snell's law here. Sin I into 1 is equal to mu into sin r. 1 into sin I for this medium. For this medium it is mu into sin r. Then sin r is equal to I got. In place of sin r I return the value. Then what I have done? This mu square I cancelled. Sin square I. Whatever may be the angle, maximum 0 to 90. Maximum value of this angle is 90. That means it will be 1. That means if mu is greater than or equal to root 2, then this ray of light will guide along this surface, or it will go like this. It means if a person is standing here, and if a person is standing here, if a person A is standing here, if a person B is standing here, and if this medium is transparent, if this refractive index is more than or equal to root 2, the light will not come out from this surface. If light will not come out from this surface, means this B is not able to observe A. B cannot see A. For B cannot see A, what must be the refractive index of this medium is, it must be root 2, minimum root 2 or greater than root 2. If refractive index is root 2 or greater than root 2, and the light which is coming from this surface will not come out of this surface, and this person he cannot see this person. Okay, one question is there based on this. This is simply whatever I proved there. Simple questions. Here they are. What is this question? You see, a 90-degree corner is made from a transparent optical material of refractive index mu, let us, such that A cannot see B. A cannot see B means whatever light coming from this face, after incidenting on this face, it is undergoing total internal reflection. if it undergoes total internal reflection or if it goes like this, anyway light should not come out from this face. If light is not coming out of this face, then A cannot see B. For A will not be able to see B, refractive index must be at least equal to, minimum value of refractive index must be root 2. Maximum value, it must be greater than root 2. Okay. Here they have given this angle. They have given this angle I, and they given, initially they have given refractive index. Refractive index is given and light will be guiding along this path. Sometimes they will give the angle. They will give this angle. They will mention the value of this angle and they will ask you to calculate the refractive index of this medium, which is greater than root 2. Okay. Suppose for example, if I take this one, say this. See, this is the example given. Is it clearly visible? This is the example given. Here they given that this angle is 45 degree. A, B, C, D. Only this angle is given. Okay, this light will bend like this and it will go. This is R. What they asked you to calculate is, what is the minimum refractive index of this medium so that light will not emerge out through the face AD. Light will not emerge out through the face AD. Then what is the value that we'll get? See, if light should not come out through the face AD, means this angle must be equal to minimum critical angle. It should be minimum critical. Then this angle is given now and refractive index is asked. So that light should not come out through the face AD. Light should not come out through the face AD means this angle should be minimum critical, because if it is critical, it will go like this. If it is more than critical, it will come like this. Means for this light not to emerge through this face, this angle must be equal to IC. Then you apply Snell's law at the two faces. At this face, if you apply Snell's law, this angle will be 90. Here if you apply Snell's law, this will be sin IC into mu. Let us take it as mu is equal to what? 1 into sin 90 is 1. Then I will get sin IC is equal to 1 by mu. Follow this? I have to find refractive index. Remember this. Then here I will come. Here I will apply Snell's law again. What is the Snell's law that you can apply here? The sin 45 into 1. Sin 45 into 1, because refractive index is 1, angle is 45, is equal to, here, mu into sin R. Mu into sin R. Then I can write mu into sin R is equal to, sin 45 into 1 is 1 by root 2. Then mu into, in place of sin R, see, R plus IC is equal to 90, this angle is 90. Then R plus IC will be equal to 90. Then in place of R plus IC is equal to 90. And in place of R, I will write sin 90 minus IC is equal to 1 by root. Then mu into, this sin 90 minus will be cos IC is equal to 1 by root 2. which implies that cos IC is equal to 1 by root 2 mu. This is second equation. I got two equations, sin IC, this is cos IC. I don't want these trigonometric functions, but I want only mu. Square them and add them. Just square them and add them. If you square and add them, what will you get the answer? See, sin square IC plus cos square IC will be equal to 1. This is square and this square will be 1 by mu square plus this will be 1 by root 2 whole square is 2 mu square. Then this will be, okay, this is mu square I will take as common. This will be 1 plus half. Mu square, if 1 by mu square I can take common here. If I take 1 by mu square, this mu square will be, then this will be 1, this will be half. Then 1 plus mu square is equal to 1 plus half will be 3 by 2 and mu is equal to root of 3 by 2. That's all. Okay, these are the few examples based on total internal reflection. Let us continue with some more examples and applications or some other topics of ray optics in the next video. Thank you.